The degree of inspiration you want to take is completely up to you, but you cannot plagiarize anything as well. So again, plan for these, the four elements from the pyramid, plan for themes. This must be around your allocated framework. You can incorporate other themes, but the framework should stick out as the center theme of your piece. Look for views and values. You can create a moral of the story, basically what lesson you want the audience to take away from your text, but you don't have to. You can make it really implicit and just center your creative writing around sort of implicitly relaying your attitudes and opinions about that framework that you've been assigned, okay? But you do need to put in some thought because you will need to analyze in your statement of intention what your broad message or meaning was of your piece and how that relates to your mentor text. Did you stray from them because you disagreed with them, or did you take something from them that you liked and altered it? Must relate to your framework. Your views and values message should relate to your framework. Structural devices, the bulk of your marks will lie here. You need to show that you can write and incorporate different language devices and structural features. Similarly, part of this is whatever text type you have chosen to write, making sure you do it well, making sure you follow the conventions and the rules of that text type that you've chosen. Some structural devices definitely need to be avoided. And the big one is cliches, those common generalized sayings. They make writing seem cheap and unprofessional. So all those typical phrases, you need to cross them out. We have an example here. Be creative, take inspiration from what mentor texts have done, and try to do it in your own way. It will take some planning. Don't copy anything, avoid plagiarism. I've included a few other structural devices, but this is not an extensive list whatsoever. It would be pages and pages. Some more general tips for writing and being the author yourself. Unless the text type that you're writing in forces you to, such as a diary entry, you should be writing scenes as if they happen in real time. Make sure everything is in present tense. That will really make it feel realistic and sound like actually engaging. Use description and dialogue that attacks the five senses. Don't just don't just tell the reader what they see. Show them what they see. So use language that attacks the five senses. Write about, okay, if the reader was in this setting, what would they hear? What would they smell? Try to get the atmosphere on paper more rather than having an extensive, overly descriptive description. Looking at this example, sorry I'm late, he yells over the intense ambient noise of conversation and snippets of discordant soprano sax. So in this example, it's attacking it's all about auditory senses and what you hear. Intense ambient noise of conversation, you feel like in this setting, it's busy, it's bustling. There's lots of people. It's a really popular place. Snippets of discordant soprano sax. Now you're thinking maybe it's some kind of jazz bar. There's some kind of music. It's a relaxed setting. Everyone is chatting while there is music playing. So that's part of that show don't tell. Use language that attacks the five senses. And as part of that as well, avoid ever telling the obvious. As an example, avoid telling readers how your character is feeling. Instead, try to depict it. So instead of saying that your character is nervous, You could detail that the character's eyes are flickering, maybe the character is biting their nails, shaking their foot, quivering their lips. Don't make it obvious, write about what you physically see and hint at their emotions. Remember the conventions of dialogue. There are rules. Every single time there's a new speaker, you must start a new paragraph with new indents. Um, Before you close an indent, it must be properly punctuated, whether that's a question mark, an exclamation mark, punctuate, just a dot to add emphasis. Otherwise, you put a comma. If you put a dot, if you leave a dot within the indents, that's done for emphasis. Otherwise, it's comma. You should limit conversations. A big one that students struggle with is making dialogue feel alive. The problem is writing too much dialogue, especially for one character, and making it as though characters are speaking at each other like a wall rather than to each other. Both interlocutors should be active in the conversation. As a general rule, set a limit of less than 3 lines per speaker. Most dialogue should be shorter than that anyway. Um, as a writing technique, get used to varying your lengths to this is how you build tension through your description. We said dialogue is the best way of building tension and driving plot development, but you can also do it through your sentence lengths and through your descriptions. So, writing longer sentences, this whole thing is one sentence, creates a relaxed pace that reduces tension, slow and relax, and you can relieve some feelings like romantic, nostalgic feelings, whatever you're going for. And short sentence lengths aim to create tension. Something really important is happening. It's fast paced. There's drama, uh, and it helps. It's beneficial to do this just before that tension breaks and you reach that most tense moment of your piece. So vary your sentence lengths. Don't exaggerate it like this and write a whole paragraph of short sentences, but you get the idea.